Hi. So something happened recently on Facebook that really got my blood boiling. And I think I should have learned by now that disagreeing with people on Facebook is not a good idea. But in this instance, it just pushed my button so hard that I just couldn't stop myself. And now, before I go any further with this video, I just want to say up front that everything that I'm going to say is my own experience. I'm not offering professional, psychological, medical, any kind of other advice. This is just my experience. And so I'm not trying to diagnose people or do anything like that, just so that people understand this is my experience in the situation. And so I'm sitting on Facebook, as you do, scrolling along, and I saw this post from someone that I thought was a friend talking about women who are in toxic relationships. Now, on YouTube, you can't use the real word, which starts with an A, because they don't like that word and they tend to flag your videos. If I say toxic, it doesn't just mean toxic, it means harmful in ways that are physical, emotional, whatever. And I'm going to just pin a little comment at the bottom there so that you can see what I'm actually trying to say when I say toxic. But what this person said was that women who keep going back to relationships like that are a special kind of stupid. And the minute I read that, I just got so angry. And I think for multiple reasons. First of all, when I was much younger, I had been involved in a relationship that was emotionally very toxic. And God saved me out of that situation. And the person that it was went on to marry someone else, and that person suffered at their hands for years and years and years. So I know what it's like to be downtrodden, spoken badly to made to feel like you're stupid. And I know that anyone in a relationship like that gets told they're a special kind of stupid, you're not helping them at all. So I sit and I think, well, this person is a friend. It's not someone I don't know at all. I've met them, and but it's not like we know each other intimately either. But they always struck me as a kind of person where if we disagreed, we could go backwards and forwards and come to some sort of discussion that was worth having. And so I went and started commenting and saying, basically, I agree with the sentiment of your post, and there was a lot more to it about how, these are not the kind of relationships that anybody wants to be in. But I said, I really don't think labeling a person in that situation as stupid is helpful or kind was going to get them into a better place. Well, you would have thought that, I don't know, I really stoked the fire with that one, and I got told in no uncertain terms that that's the way this person feels and they don't care what I think. And I tried to re-explain it from another angle, because for me as well, not only did I have a terrible relationship when I was younger, that ended up breaking up and me being stalked and, the fear and all that's involved. But also in my years in ministry, I've spoken to and tried to help so many women, and I've always been very direct with them. I've never tried to say, stay, when I can see a situation is so toxic that their life is at risk. And so I know how dangerous these situations can be. I've spoken to so many women. I've had women come to our ladies' meetings with stitches all the way down the side of their face and seen them go back to that person. So I understand the frustration and thinking, why do they keep going back? But, there's so much more to situations like that people don't understand. If you've never been in a situation like that, you can't understand it. And so it just made me so angry. And I tried to explain to this person, even in our church, a woman got murdered by her husband. And we didn't even know in that particular case what was going on until it was far too late. And the whole family ended up being annihilated because he went and did her in and her child. And in the end of the day, the cops got involved, caught him, and there was a shootout, and he was gone as well. So I understand how tragic it can be, and I cannot tell you the number of times I've told women, If you're in a situation where you feel your life is in danger, get out. Report them to the police. Don't go back. So I understood what this person was going on about, but I really got upset listening to someone who thinks they're being helpful, telling people in that situation that they are a special kind of stupid. And I tried to explain how those people, those women, are probably hearing from those people in their marriages every day how stupid they are. They're being emotionally spoken badly to. Some of them are being physically hurt. Some of them are being emotionally hurt, isolated and all that kind of thing, in situations where their self-esteem is so battered that they just don't have what it takes to get out. And there's so many reasons why a woman, and sometimes even a man, there are those cases, feel like they just can't get out. Sometimes they've been so trauma bonded to that person that it's like trying to get out of an addiction. And it's not easy. And, at the end of this conversation, it got so toxic that I eventually felt like I did when I was in that other relationship years ago, where you just feel like you're stupid, your opinion's not worth anything. And I thought to myself, well, who's being toxic now with the attitude that you have? And, again, I understand you want people to be helped, but by labeling someone who is hurting already, and you clearly don't have any understanding of what they're going through. I've been there, I've gotten out of it, and God helped me miraculously to do that, But I think we've got to be so careful what we say with our words, because from what I understood after the fact is that they knew somebody that had actually just gotten killed. So they were quite traumatized by that. But it's no good saying that your friend or somebody that was a special kind of stupid. It doesn't change anything. It just hurts their reputation. It doesn't help to say that to someone who's currently in a situation like that. I found the best thing that you can do is tell them you are worth more than what's happening to you right now. And to sit down and explain to them why this relationship is toxic, why what's happening is not healthy. Because so many times people can be in relationships like this, and they're so used to it because maybe they grew up in a situation where they saw that happening, and then they walked into a relationship that was the same, where it's so normal to them they don't even understand how bad it is. And so for me, I'm just ranting a little bit today, but it made me so upset, because I think we really, really need to realize that anyone who's in a situation like that is not enjoying it. They're fighting for their life, and yet there's this whole psyche behind it that is making it feel impossible for them to leave. And if you know someone like that and you don't understand why they keep going back, just support and love them the best that you can. And again, I wouldn't say, well, you must stay and all this. So often in churches I've seen women being told, stay and you must just submit to your husband and all that kind of thing, when people in leadership have not realized that that person's life is in danger. And in cases like that, every single time I'll say, get out. If you're worried about God-hating divorce, which we know, you don't have to divorce the person. Just get out of the house. Get out of that home. Go to a women's shelter if you have to, but don't stay. And I want to say something today as well. If you're in a situation like that, where a thought has ever crossed your mind that one day this person is going to hurt me to the point where my life is going to be over, I want to tell you today, do everything you can to get out, because you are worth so much more than that. When Jesus died on the cross, he died so that you could live an abundant life, not so that you could live a life where you're being sworn at, told that you're not worth anything, and lied to and blamed for everything, blamed and shamed. They do something wrong, but they make it feel like it's your fault all the time. You're worth so much more than that. And if you can just stop and realize that it doesn't matter how many times they apologize. And that's the thing. You can say, how did that person get into that relationship? But 9 times out of 10, that person started out as charming and kind, and everything looked great. They said all the right things, they did all the right things. You were showered with love and gifts or whatever else they could give you. And when you made a commitment to them and you were in that thing long term, it began to change. Some people it changed suddenly. I know someone who the day they got married, he suddenly turned into a completely different person. He became like a monster. But in many, many, many cases, it happens over time, so that you're desensitized to that toxic behavior little bit by little bit by little bit. And it erodes your self-confidence and your self-worth bit by bit by bit till you get to a point where you feel like you're not worth anything. And I want to tell you today that you are worth so much more than that. God has got so much better for you. He loves you so much that if you're being treated like that, that's not God. God would never set you up in a relationship where you were going to be treated like that. And I just wanted to speak about that a little bit today, because I was upset by somebody who said that, and still went on to say afterwards that I was being a drama queen. And anyone who knows me, I'm not a drama queen, telling me that the conversation is draining and that I'm just a fake. And that really pushed my buttons, because I might be a lot of things and I'm not perfect at all. I make mistakes all the time, but if there's one thing I'm not fake. And so it really upset me from many levels, because I've helped women that have been in situations like that, because I've been in a situation like that. And I want to tell you today, if you are there, don't listen to anyone who tells you you're a special kind of stupid or you're an idiot for staying, but remember what God says about you. You are the apple of his eye. He loves you so much. You are his workmanship. You are so much, worth so much, that no one should ever treat you like that. And so that's all I really wanted to say about that today. And if you have somebody that that's in a situation like that, and you just want us to agree with you in prayer that God would open their eyes to see what's going on and help them and strengthen them, just let us know. You don't have to say who it is. Or if there's any sort of prayer request that you want, you can put that in the comments as well. But if you're in a situation like that, or you ever have been and God got you out of it, I want to encourage you to share your testimony in the comments, because I'm telling you now, you never know who your story is going to help and whose life it could save. And so I want to thank you today just for watching and listening to me rant a little bit about something that really upset me. But it's close to my heart, and I think we've really got to, as Christians, always show God's love and speak the way that God would speak, and not like that. It's just not helpful or kind. And so it's all I have to say for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.